Hey guys, my name is ThePerfectG. I'm going to be showing you how to do solo challenge mode raids consistently without any crazy strategies, and you will always make the time to get the dust and of course the twisted kits. Now disclaimer, this is a challenge mode, so it's a lot stricter than a regular raid. All of the bosses have much higher defense and they hit so much harder. If you don't already know how to do a regular solo, then this guide may not yet be for you. Now for the gear. You don't need a Sang Staff, a Blood Fury, or Purple Sweets, but you definitely want to at least have a Twisted Bow and a Lance. These items make the raid so much more casual and consistent, but downgrading where you see fit will not change any of the details in this guide. Now that you're geared up, it's time to start potting. Start off by drinking the Divine Super Combat, the Zamorak Brew, then your Angler plus Stam, Angler plus Anti-Venom. Keep in mind the Anti-Venom lasts a couple minutes longer than the Antidote plus, big help. Make sure you're venged up, and 121 HP, and let's head on in. Now the first room is Tekton. Tekton can be a 0 damage room with the method flinching. This method is also called 6 ticking. Simply put, you attack Tekton every 6 ticks. When you enter, make sure your hammer is on the accurate style and begin the process. Whenever you're comfortable, make sure you change your maul back to pummel to maximize DPS. Now the 6 tick method is simple. Tekton hits you every 3 ticks, and you hit him every 6 ticks, so you'll always be perfectly aligned. The steps are attack, step back, wait a tick, repeat. Attack, step back, wait a tick, repeat. Once Tekton is dead, drop and sip any extra Ceradomin brews, restores, and your super combat. Pick up the 4 Tekton potions and your 2 staminas. Now crabs can be a bit tricky at first, but unlike the massive RNG and solo CM typically, this room is almost always the same. Prey melee, staff on long range, attack the first 2 crabs while luring the first crab here. Attack a third crab while luring the second crab here, and then make sure to recolor the second crab that you hammered with Mage while you lure the third crab to position here. Drag that same third crab and leave them uncolored for the second crystal. Drink your prayer in hands to maintain full prayer points. Drag the same crab again to the next spot and color it with ranged. Now the first 2 crabs will unstun here. Immediately, when the ranged orb bounces, drag the 1 crab back 1 tile and hammer the crab that's actually on that spot. It's advised to hammer the 1 or 2 other crabs as well. Find the 4th crab or one of the unstunned unhammered crabs and take it to the final crystal and recolor it with melee. Kill scavs whilst heading towards the tinderbox spawn. Drop your 6 potions and grab your planks as soon as possible. If you get the planks first, make the bank and start chopping. If you get the seconds or the lockpick first, redrop them on the pile with your potions and then scav until planks. For Ice Demon, you can light any 2 braziers and then head to the chest. Make sure you keep your axe. Deposit any unneeded gear to make space for the seconds and the lockpicks and the potions. Now, if you didn't already get those seconds and lockpicks, get it now while the Ice Demon melts. You'll want at least 8 mushrooms and 10 juice. And remember, scavving extra for a lockpick is not worth the time. Keep your axe. Now, once your potions, secondaries, and lockpicks are picked up, make sure you're venged, put your hammer back on accurate, and head in with 2 hammer specs. Lure Ice Demon behind the wall to this tile, turn off your Ren energy, and begin flinching Ice Demon. You are able to turn off range protection, but if you're not comfortable with this method, you can definitely leave it up for now. Once Ice Demon is dead, you can go back to the chest now to finish your banking. You don't need your axe, but make sure you still have it in the bank for Muttadile. You want a minimum of 4 empty inventory spaces for this next part. When you enter the Shaman room, tag the Northern Shaman. You can lure that Shaman behind this rock on this yellow tile marker. Once it's about to reach the rock, click it and attack it to immediately run through it to the far northwest side to safe spot it. Now you may take some damage from purples, but you're able to redemption this. Make sure to re-drink the overload and enhance if needed, and when the shamans are dead, pick up only the Bushu seeds and head into the next room for prep. Left click to take the tools and hold down the 4 button. You can prepare to use the seeds on the patch as soon as the tools are grabbed. Deposit all raids items first, and then deposit all into the private chest. Gather your water vials and begin farming. Personally, I feel like 8 revites and 10 aids will be plenty to get you through this raid, including Ohm, but feel free to make 10 revites and 13 aids instead. It may not seem like much more, but if you plan to make extra, it means that you'll have to scav longer before Ice Demon. You definitely do not want to make more than 28 potions. Making your prep time more consistent will play a massive part in making time. And if it ends up not being enough, there's a very simple way that I'll show you towards the end of the raid to make extra supplies in the unlikely case that you need to. Set up your inventory the way I do. If you don't have a scythe, use a rapier or a lance. The scythe is only for vanguards and Ohm. Now, for vanguards, you can kill all three just like a normal raid. Although the raid is the same order every time, keep in mind that the vanguards can spawn at different locations each time. There are two very easy ways to approach this room. The first option, you can stand in the safe corner where I am here and attack one vanguard at a time. As the vanguards transition, you can attack the one to the other side as you see fit. You can even T-bow the faraway mage or ranged vanguards from here without attracting the other's aggro, but ranging the ranged vanguard is only useful when it's much higher HP than the others. Now this is my personal preference for the sake of the melee vanguard. The melee vanguard is a bit different than the other two. His aggro range is actually based on where he spawned, not where he is at the current time. So always keep track of where the melee spawns so you don't get hit by more than one simultaneously, or you will die. Now the other method is something that I'll incorporate into my run when the time comes, but it can mean a load of extra damage taken from the melee vanguard. That second option is to stand in the safe corner where I am and attack the first vanguard you see up to 3 times on the first down. Locate the ranged vanguard and follow it. You can stand under the ranged vanguard and he will not be able to dance around you, allowing you to farcast the other two vanguards. Now, it's very important to prioritize knowing both strategies so you can mix them where needed. If the ranged vanguard you're fighting is low HP while you fight it, stand under it and attack the others. If it's very high HP but too far away to reach while attracting the other's aggro, you can T-bow flinch it, or 1-to-1 using that marked tile. Just make sure not to over damage the vanguards. But believe me, even if you reset their HP or plank, you will still make time easily. Once they're dead, pick up every potion except the Kodai and the Elder potion. You want all pink, yellow, black, and green potions dropped. If you don't have room, there's a bank in the next room, so you can come back and grab them if you want to. Head into the thieving room with your T-bow and ranged gear equipped and begin thieving. There are 3 sets of 4 chests you can loot from in case some of them are poisoned. Once you have your 30 grubs, begin gearing for Vespula and Tightrope. Now I like to withdraw items for the 3rd floor here since there's extra space while the scavengers eat, but there's another bank after Vespula, so you can do it however you want to. If you have a T-bow, it doesn't really matter if Vespula tags a Lux Grub. You'll out DPS it. If your overload runs out during the Vespula, drink the Twisted Potion from Vanguards. If you didn't bring enough revitalizations, use your Prayer Enhance. The Enhance really comes in clutch when your Twisted Noodle strikes. When Vespula dies, make sure to pick up every single potion, finish off the low dose enhance if you have one, and continue on to rope. On the way to rope, you are able to bank for more brews if you need to, but if you set your inventory up the way I did, you won't. The easiest way to handle this is to kill the rangers and then do a half skip tanking the mages. The rangers take a bit longer to kill, but unlike the mages, if you tank the rangers across, even with an Ellie, there's a high chance you still get sat. You can kill them all for extra points, but remember, we're not here for money right now, we're here for time. I'll leave a link to Raidcord in the description so you can check out some other methods to skip rope. Now after gearing for the 3rd floor, and keep in mind you really want to make sure you have your axe on you, you're going to head into Guardians. Pray melees. These things will eat you. If you have a Blood Fury, you can heal from that, but do not overheal past full HP. If you're going to end Guardians with less than about 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the overload, drink another dose for Vasa. When Guardians die, eat up the full HP, but it is absolutely crucial that you do not overeat before Vasa, but you do want full HP. If you thought Tekton was a brick wall, think again. He's just the gatekeeper. Vasa is extremely painful, plus you can be ridiculously unlucky. The damage Vasa does is based on your current HP minus 5 at the time of the teleport. So you want to overeat up after the teleport, not before. As soon as you're teleported, drink 1 dose of brew to overeat by 19 HP, and then drink the Twisted Potion, not the Revitalization. You want the Twisted Potion so you're 120 range. If you're left with 5 HP after his special lands, there's a high chance you die depending which part he takes, so again, this is very critical that you do this part correctly. You'll Venge the Vasa special attack and begin hitting. When fighting the crystal, make sure you double claw spec it. It's extremely likely that even with a rapier, you don't kill 2 crystals before it does its special attack again. If you took a long time to kill the first crystal, more than half of the 45 seconds allotted that it takes of eating crystals, or if you kill the 2 crystals somehow, then don't even bother fighting the next crystal. Instead, stay in range gear and eat up. Again, do not overeat, and repeat the process until it's dead. Now, a huge tip. If your bow just isn't hitting and your overload runs out, do not re-overload when it's about to teleport you. Use a Twisted Potion and then re-overload again when you head to the crystal. If you re-overload at the wrong time and get teleported as your HP is lowering, it is impossible to out-eat the damage you're about to take. You will die. When Vasa is dead, eat up. Drop the low dose twisted potions and pick up both full aids and twisted pods. If you don't think there are enough supplies for Ohm when you get there, then grab the 5 and Darkened Juice as well. Make sure you pray melee when you're running through the scavs, run into the mystics, and learn tag each mystic with a blowpipe and a serp helm to venom it. You can safe spot the first mystic at the entrance and back corner, but it isn't worth doing if you plan to tag them with venom. Once they're tagged with blowpipe and serp, switch to your T-bow, take off the serp, and kill him. It's worth mentioning Mike Tyson's can melee you for over 50, which potentially means that you can be one hit if 2 of them hit you at once. So eat up while luring and drink Twisteds to retain the 120 range. If you need extra supplies, grab Buchu seeds from here. The first tip from Muttadile and the way to do it is remember to eat up. It's a long run back if you die, and Odablock can easily Rambo you out combos with the mage attack from the pool. Stay above 60 to 70 HP while chopping the tree, and if you manage to forget the axe, you can RNG to kill Scaz a few rooms back, or you can just let Muttadiles finish you off. Dying to get back to the bank is potentially faster, and it's what I do when I forget my axe. Kill the big Muttadile by the entrance as shown, and if you're low on brews, save them to tick eat. If you have sweets, use those instead to tick eat, and save a couple brew doses to combo eat if you accidentally tick eat early. If you're doing the extra prep, pick up the 1+ mushrooms that it drops by the big Muttadile. Now this next room is farming, simply prep just like you did earlier, but make the 5 brews and 1+ revites, and then head to the next room and bank for Ohm. When you're gearing for Ohm, make sure your staff is not on long ranged. I personally use the Twisted Potions for the final phase if I need to brew down after the Overload restores some stats. You can easily do this with Prayer Flicking and 1 restore, but I'd advise a minimum of 2 just to be safe. And if you're extremely comfortable with Ohm, you can even bring 3, just in case you get a lot of orb specials. I won't be showing the methods on how to kill Ohm in this guide, but don't forget his max hit is nearly doubled and his accuracy is highly increased. If you'd like to see a solo Ohm guide, not just on how to do it easier than other guides, but also how to actually fix the cycle if you mess it up, then let me know down in the comments.